Again, my name is Gabe Zollner. If you were watching the Zimmerman trial this afternoon, you probably were as disgusted as I was. And the reason that is that all along the defense was doing their job to protect their client on a second-degree murder charge. Now, since there was no ill will, malice, or hatred, because Zimmerman did not know Trayvon Martin, they had never met before, the chances of getting a second-degree conviction are pretty much zero. So what the prosecution decided to do is they asked the judge if they could include a manslaughter charge, and they also wanted to go for a third-degree charge. Now, third-degree charge is child abuse, and the reason they went after that is because Trayvon Martin was under the age of 18. Needless to say, the defense was rather upset that this was sprung on them at the 11th hour, because they never discussed anything throughout the entire trial to deal with either one of those two eventualities. Well, after the judge decided to deliberate on the issue, which she did in regard to the third degree, she decided that she's not going to allow that in. But she did allow the manslaughter in. Now, in Florida, a manslaughter charge, if he's convicted, is 30 years. See, this prosecution wants a conviction. And it certainly appears that the judge does as well, because, again, Zimmerman was charged with second degree. He was never charged with manslaughter. Yet the judge decided to allow that in as well. It's pretty insane, isn't it? Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. The prosecution, I don't think, did a real good job in their 2 hours and 20 minutes presentation to the jury. They just hammered out everything else that they hammered out before. I think the real key here is, why in the world would Trayvon Martin be screaming for help if the eyewitnesses proved and stated that Trayvon Martin was on top of Zimmerman and his arms were going up and down, up and down? Why would he be screaming for help? It makes no sense. None. And I don't see this as anything other than a pure self-defense shooting. Now, again, what Trayvon Martin did, he shouldn't have done. He shouldn't have come and approached Zimmerman. And Zimmerman maybe shouldn't have done a few things that he did. But you can't fault anyone for protecting their own lives. And that's exactly what I think happened. We'll see what the jury decides. With all the errors that this Judge Deborah Nelson made, if there is a conviction, I'm sure it'll be appealed. And if it is appealed, I'm sure, with everything else that we've learned about this case, the fact that the less than honorable Attorney General Eric Holder went to Florida, the fact that the Department of Justice has been proven to be involved in those rallies where people are running around, justice for Trayvon, justice for Trayvon. Well, what about justice for Zimmerman? What about justice for Zimmerman? The chief of police was fired because he refused to charge Zimmerman with a trial. The city manager kept asking the chief of police, when are you going to file? When are you going to file? When are you going to file? The chief of police didn't file. He was fired. Then they went ahead and they found some clown that would file. And they got this special prosecutor, the clown that had his hands in his pocket all the time. Somebody needs to, show him how to work in front of a jury. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't want to keep rambling, but I'm real frustrated that the judge allowed additional charges when that was never on the table. What the defense fought against, and as far as I'm concerned, one was a second-degree murder charge. What the prosecution tried to throw in was a third degree. When they couldn't get that, they settled for manslaughter. And again, manslaughter is 30 years. It's disgusting.